I just hope that someday someone would love me.
Progressive web apps seem to be the latest buzzword, but what does it mean? I'm Pete, a developer advocate at Google, and in this video series, you'll learn what a progressive web app is, why it matters, and how you can build one. In this first video, I'll cover the key concepts of a progressive web app and how you can get started. So let's jump in. Web development has changed a lot over the years, when Ajax transformed the web from static pages into dynamic, interactive experiences. Users' expectations went from clicking on the side of a map and waiting seconds for it to scroll to something like the Google Maps experience with live panning and zooming. You don't have to live with that horrible click and wait user experience. Unfortunately, the improvements we've seen on the desktop web haven't translated as well to the mobile web. Consider this. If I asked you to open Google Maps on your phone, would you do it using the native app or through the browser? Chances are you'd use the native app. Mobile is the key factor driving this revolution. We now use mobile devices more than desktop computers. And depending on which stats you look at, it's been this way for more than 2 years. On mobile, users spend most of their time in native apps rather than on the web. In fact, they spend 87% of their time in native apps versus only 13% of their time on the mobile web. When asked why, users often say that apps are more predictable, they're easy to find on the home screen, and feature push notifications that bring them back. So, should we abandon the web and go build native apps? Of course not. There's a flip side to native app usage. App usage is highly concentrated, and users tend to only install and use a few apps. If you're not one of those chosen apps, too bad. Users have us that they see native apps as a big commitment in 0 apps per month. 0. None. By contrast, mobile users visit over 100 websites every month. This is the power of URLs and the ephemerality of the web. One way to think about the difference between native and web apps is on the capability axis. When you tap on their icon, native apps start quickly. They tend to work offline, they can show notifications, sync in the background, and have access to sensors like camera and microphone. But the reach is somewhat limited, requiring a different version for each platform. The web is safer, and its permission model is more respectful of your privacy. But without some of the same capabilities, it doesn't matter how many people can use it. We want to combine the capabilities and experience users are used to in native apps with the reach of the web. We want the best of both worlds. A progressive web app is simply that, a great user experience that feels integrated and earns a place on my home screen without having to give up the reach to get it. The term progressive web apps really just means radically improving the quality of your end-to-end user experience. In order to do that, we need to focus on 4 things: making the app fast, making the experience more integrated, ensuring that it works reliably, and keeping users engaged. Let's take a look at each of these properties in a little bit more depth. Users expect apps to load quickly and to have smooth scrolling. Unfortunately, the web has a bad name for this, especially on mobile. For now, let's focus on load performance, which means making sure that your web app loads fast. Now, this isn't just esoteric. We all know that time is money. This chart shows just how true that is. 20% of users will abandon a site if it takes more than 3 seconds to load. Now, I could make a joke about kids today and short attention spans, but I'm guilty of this too. Other studies show even worse results. After 3 seconds,
Ready to say yes to the largest online code competition organized by our friends at Shopee? After a strong inaugural run in 2020, Shopee is back with their second installment of Shopee Code League in 2021, happening from the 6th till the 28th of March. To all students, undergraduates, and working professionals across the region, it's time to put your coding skills to the test and compete in a series of challenges. Just form a team of 2 to 4 members and solve real-world problems that cover data analytics, data science, and algorithmic challenges specifically designed by the Shopee tech teams. In addition, sign up for Shopee's training workshops to level up your tech skills. Mark your calendars and join us for the coding event of the year. Just visit careers.shopee.com/code league. Follow PWA Pilipinas social media accounts for more info and other cool stuff just like this.
Apps and can even integrate with other payment apps like PayPal or Android Pay. Another good example is media playback. With the Media Session API, you can provide metadata about what's currently playing and even handle media-related events from the user. If the screen is locked, the user can quickly see what song is playing and maybe skip to the next song. Users don't expect the web to work without a network connection, and often they don't even bother to try when it's a slow or intermittent connection. We need to change that perception. Web apps must be reliable. When a user taps on a home screen icon, they expect it to load instantly and reliably. Apps launched from the home screen should never show the dinosaur. Thinking back to the 90s when the web grew up, this is how we got online. Going online meant putting the whole house into online mode. I remember having to yell upstairs, "Don't pick up the phone!" And if someone did, it would kill my connection. We used to know when we were online. But now, in the broadband era, we don't even think about it. Desktop connectivity is just always there. We've become used to always being online. And when we're not, and we see this cute little dinosaur, it's a disaster. Mobile phones aren't always online. Maybe you've turned on airplane mode, or your subway stop doesn't have service. And even when you have 4 bars, you might not have a live connection. But it's not just the no connection that breaks the user's trust. It's slow and intermittent connections that affect users just as much. Still, mobile apps never show the dinosaur. Nothing on my home screen shows this. In order for a web app to earn its place on the home screen, we need to make them reliable, even when the network isn't. An engaging app goes beyond functional and ensures that the whole experience is delightful, making it easy for the user to do what they need to do. Using features like web push, it's always up to date. Notifications keep the user informed. An engaging app uses the right capabilities at the right time in a beautiful way. One example, push notifications. They've existed for a while, but I'm really excited that we finally have access to them as web developers. And notifications are a fundamental part of turning a monthly active user into a daily active user. So enough exposition. Let's take a look at Twitter Lite, a progressive web app designed to deliver a more robust experience with explicit goals for instant loading, increasing user engagement, and lower data consumption. The Twitter Lite progressive web app combines the best of the modern web and native features. It became the default mobile web experience for all users in April of 2017. On the first load, it looks and behaves like any normal web app. This is a well-designed mobile experience. Smooth scrolling, responsive design, all of the rest. When I revisit the site, Chrome prompts me with an Add to Home Screen banner, making it easy for me to add it to my home screen. When I click Add, a little toast pops up letting me know it's been added to my home screen. In a future version of Chrome, progressive web apps will also be added to the task launcher. Let's see how it looks. There it is on the home screen. Tapping the icon starts it immediately, showing a splash screen while things are loaded. Then it launches into a full screen experience. It feels like all of the other installed apps on my phone. Even clicking on the task manager shows it as a top-level app using the icon, app name, and colors defined in the manifest. Being in the user's field of view is very important for re-engagement. Shortly after launching Twitter Lite, they were seeing over 1 million launches from the home screen every single day. Twitter implemented web push notifications that work the same as those from their native app and arrive even if the user's browser is closed. Users are prompted to enable notifications or can go into the settings and enable notifications there. Notifications appear on the locked home screen, and when I click on the notification, I'm taken directly to the relevant place, making it easy for me to reply, like, or retweet something. When tweeting, users have access to all the same features they expect. They can take pictures, attach photos they've already taken, and so forth. It was pretty cool to see Twitter demo this at their launch event, where they posted a tweet with an image in about a second and got hundreds of likes, all while still on stage. Reaching a broad set of users is important for Twitter, especially those in emerging markets where lower download speeds and less powerful mobile devices are common. Twitter Lite helps reach this audience more effectively by making Twitter faster and easier to use on low bandwidth connections. Twitter Lite is only about 600K over the wire versus almost 24 megabytes to install the native Android app. And for Twitter, who measures their success in the number of tweets and pages viewed per session, their progressive web app has been a flyaway success, with a 75% increase in tweets sent and 65% more page views. Today, Twitter Lite has more active users than any other Twitter client. Twitter Lite is fast, it launches as a full screen app from my home screen, it's reliable, working no matter what my network connection is, and it's engaging. Service Workers is one of the new platform APIs that's behind many of the new capabilities that I've been talking about. The traditional web model requires the browser to go to the network for every single request. And if the network is down, everything fails and you get that famous dinosaur. But you don't always need to traverse the network every single time. The service worker can cache all of the resources needed for your page. It gives you full control to manage the cache and allows you to decide when to hit the cache and when to hit the network. Service workers can handle more than just network requests. They can handle system-level notifications, like push messages. A push message is just another type of request that the service worker services. When a message comes in, it wakes up the service worker, then calls its on-push handler. Earlier this year, Lancome launched a new progressive web app. Compared to their previous mobile experience, time to interactive dropped by 84%, leading to a 15% decrease in their bounce rates. To re-engage with users, Lancome added web push notifications, alerting users about exclusive promotions, product releases, and to reconnect with shoppers who have abandoned their carts. This strategy has delivered an 18% open rate on mobile, and conversion rates on abandoned carts have increased by 8%. The new strategy also delivered a much better experience across platforms. iOS is important to Lancome, and 65% of all users landing on their progressive web app are on iPhones. With their new PWA, Lancome saw a 53% increase in session length and a 10% decrease in bounce rate among iPhone users, despite the fact that some features were unavailable to them. All told, the progressive web app has been a tremendous success, driving a 17% increase in conversions. Lyft also launched their new mobile site as a progressive web app with the needs of emerging market users in mind. In emerging markets where you can't take bandwidth or even connectivity for granted, it's even harder for your audience to get into your app. Instead of making a simple landing page that asks a user to install something, their progressive web app is a feature-complete version of Lyft, just without the install step. Remember, the goal isn't to get the user to install your app, it's to get them to use your service. The word progressive in progressive web apps isn't there accidentally. Focusing on the end-to-end user experience will have a dramatic impact on your business, even for users who can't experience the full power of progressive web apps because they're on a device that doesn't fully support service workers. A progressive web app doesn't have to be a huge undertaking. So how do you get started? Well, first and foremost, you need security. That means serving your site from a secure origin. Everything must be served via HTTPS. It's like table stakes for your progressive web app. In fact, for many new and even some old powerful web APIs like geolocation, it now requires a secure origin. You may know the green lock from the URL bar. The green lock indicates that there's a secure connection between the site and the user. Having a secure connection really means three things. The user can trust that the site is actually you. They can be assured that no one has tampered with the page and that no one is listening in on the connection. The web has tremendous reach and it's frictionless, so keeping users safe is huge. Ready to begin, plenty of started, but they can be summarized in these three approaches: building from the ground up, starting with a simple version, and focusing on scenario. Starting from the ground up makes the most sense when a site is about to go through a redesign. If you're starting from scratch anyways, it makes sense to build in progressive web appiness from the beginning. This approach enables you to easily use the app shell pattern and take advantage of the power of service workers. OLX is one of the largest online destinations for classified ads in India, providing communities in high-growth markets with a vibrant online marketplace. They look to progressive web app technologies to provide a faster loading, immersive, and app-like experience. After launching their progressive web app, the time until the page becomes interactive fell by 23%, with a corresponding 80% drop in bounce rates. OLX also wanted to re-engage mobile users just as they would on their mobile app. This meant taking advantage of capabilities like push notifications and add to home screen. These two updates increased engagement by 250%. Monetization also improved. With ads loading faster, the click-through rate has increased by 146%. Of course, not everyone can take this approach. Starting from scratch often isn't realistic. The second approach is to build a simple version of the site, the light or mobile version, and choose to optimize around a specific section or user journey. An example of this approach is Air Berlin. Their schedule and demands didn't make it possible to start from scratch, so instead they focused on the post-booking experience. Their user journey is one you might be familiar with. You're at the airport and you want quick access to your itinerary details, destination information, and above all else, the boarding pass. Their progressive web app heavily leverages caching to ensure that it loads super fast and works reliably. From the time the user taps on the home screen icon until the boarding pass is up is less than a second. And it works even without an internet connection. The final strategy is to define a specific feature to focus on. Pick one feature where you can have high impact and focus on that. This is frequently the approach needed at large companies where you may not have the backing to start from scratch or even build a separate, simple version. For example, the weather company has been interested in progressive web app technologies for quite some time, but they needed to prioritize based on what they believed would be highest impact for their users and their business. They decided that the most impactful feature was notifications. They decided to focus on a single feature with web push, and they went big, rolling out notifications globally in over 60 languages. Users on their mobile web app can subscribe to multiple types of notifications, just like on their native app. This success sets them up on their journey to build a full progressive web app experience. In the first 3 months of rolling out Web Push, Weather saw over 1 million opt-ins. Web push notifications allow Weather to reach a whole new audience with the same set of notifications as their native app users. As you think about your journey, do what makes sense for your users, your site, and your company. Speaking of, we've been so excited to see the incredible momentum on progressive web apps around the world. Large companies such as Wigo, Expedia, and Trivago have all rolled out successful progressive web apps. Publishers like Infobay and Forbes have launched progressive web apps, and Forbes has seen a doubling of user engagement since their launch. E-commerce sites such as Fandango, Alibaba, and Rakuten have all invested in progressive web apps. Even new services like ride-sharing companies that we might think of as app-only are getting in on the action. Lyft rolled out their progressive web app last fall, and Ola Cabs, the largest ride-sharing service in India, has just launched their progressive web app. This is just a sample of some of the folks who are shipping or actively working on progressive web apps. Every one of these companies has had their own path for how they're investing on the mobile web and starting down the path of progressive web apps. In the next couple of videos, Mariko and I will show you how you can build progressive web apps that are fast, integrated, reliable, and engaging. Then, once you've completed the videos, we have a collection of code labs that you can use to put your newfound knowledge to work. I hope these videos and the accompanying code labs leave you inspired and confident about building progressive web apps. With that, thanks. Let's jump into the next video, Building Integrated Experiences.
and I'll be discussing about the state and the future of progressive web apps as a platform. Um, that's why we keep on reiterating as a platform, because there are already many front-end frameworks that discusses on how to make progressive web apps. We have Angular, we have React, we have Vue. So if you really wanted to to learn deeper about these front-end technologies, we have them as well. But I guess we're going to have meetups with partnering with them in the future, so stay tuned with that. So let's look at the past year for progressive web apps. Oh, wait. First, let's have a retrospective on the word progressive. I mean, why do we even call PWAs or progressive web apps as progressive? I mean, why can't we just call them as web apps? First is, we define the word progress. So progress means to move forward or onward towards a certain destination. As the one who coined the term PWA said, Alex Russell, he said in the blog post explaining on why he named progressive web apps as is that these apps aren't packaged and deployed through stores. They're just websites that took all the right vitamins. They keep the web's ask when you need it permission model and add in new capabilities like being top level in your task switcher, on your home screen, and in your notification tray. Users don't have to make a heavyweight choice up front and don't implicitly sign up for something dangerous just by clicking on a link. Sites that want to send you notification or be on your home screen have to earn that right over time. As you use them more and more, they progressively become apps. Food for thought. That's why they are called progressive web apps. Because I'll tell you why. Because of progression. So I'm going to tell you like the steps of progressive web apps on why is it progressive. So first is that it's just a site that you open in your browser. It's in a tab. So it doesn't have that superpowers like being in your home screen immediately, but it already has those other features you need already, like being responsive when you make it larger or smaller and stuff. So as you use it frequently, let's say that web app is important to you. Now that's the time when it tells you that, do you want to keep me? That's the only time that you have to decide. Then after that, when you really decided that you really want it, that's the only time that it could be at your home screen and blend along with your other used apps that you always see on your launcher. Yeah, and additionally, it also works offline, but it works offline from the very beginning. But because of that added feature, like there's no more tab, it's on your home screen, it feels more like an app or the appiness of the web app. So that's what Alex Russell had also said. That's why it's a progression. So for example, this is one of the projects I've built before. So this is Project Trend. Okay, so first, no, you discover your progressive web app. You just scan it and use it immediately as you wish. Okay, I'm gonna use it immediately. So from there, you use it the first time, then you find it valuable. It's like, okay, it's gonna help me daily in my commutes. That's when the time you can now add it to your home screen. You can install it. So that's what he refers to as the progression. That's why it's called as a progressive web app. So, yeah. So there you go. Let's say you installed it. So for the succeeding uses, it's already in your launcher. So when you open it, it feels like an app, not like a website that is on a tab. And it also has, like what they said, no, being able to be at a task switcher, for example. So the debate between hybrid versus progressive apps, like what Fran said earlier, like building hybrid apps. So with hybrid, we utilize web technologies to create app experiences. So like you're still using HTML, CSS, JavaScript to create app experiences. And the good thing about it is that it still can feel like an app because it's like packaged into what you typically know, what you download at the Play Store or the App Store. But one of its cons is that it loses one of the best qualities of the web, which is being able to link and being able to transparently see if the site is secure. And also, it's locked down on specific platforms. And also, your distribution platform is limited to what the vendors offer, like just on the Play Store and on the App Store. But with progressive apps, they just start as your typical websites or your web apps, but they turn as apps in the process. Kung parang, jowa muna bago kasal, ganun. Tingnan mo muna kung okay ba. Hindi pwedeng kasal agad, di ba? Tingnan mo muna, baka hindi okay, baka hindi mo gusto. Parang ganun, something like that. So, one of its pros is that no install requirement. Parang walang masyadong commitment, ganun. And it's also accessible via the browser. But one of its cons, though, is that, yun nga, because some people are already well known the stores, diba? Like, say, just download it and it's already there. So yun nga, it's not there. But and also, some vendors like Apple doesn't like the idea of this. But the good thing about this is that you could distribute it practically anywhere, just using the URL or the QR code. So some of the hybrid technologies that you know or may have heard of are here, like Adobe Air applications, your Windows Store apps, your Firefox OS when it was still alive package apps, your Cordova or your PhoneGap apps, and Electron and more. So hybrid development in the recent years. So the definition of that, of the PWA, was 5 years ago. So like as the year progresses, people are actually looking into what if we turn that PWA into a hybrid-like app. So there's kinda doing it. So some of the examples are like PWAs wrapped in hybrid tech, like Electron, Electron that has PWAs inside, or or like this one. If you ever get to download Twitter from the Microsoft Store, what you're getting is a PWA that is just wrapped on a Universal Windows Platform app. And also, another way is to use either WebView, if you're familiar with that, or you use a trusted web activity, which is a newer and safer approach in wrapping your PWAs into an app that you could distribute to the store. An example of this is the Google Maps Go, which is their lightweight counterpart to the regular Google Maps. There's like what I've said earlier, and just today, Instagram updated their Windows app. No, instead of using their old one, they're now using PWA. So if you ever get to update your Instagram app on your PC, it's a PWA. So now we're going to talk about the capability of PWAs. So aside from what was said earlier about Project Fugu APIs, one of the other APIs available is the payment request API, which is like an interface where the credit card info or other payment integrators are already provided by the browser instead of you creating forms for getting card details. So that's one of the capabilities that you could use today in your PWAs. And for other specific iOS updates for PWAs, you may scan this QR code. But basically, it's the same with Android, except that they are reluctant in adding some of the standards. Adoption of progressive web apps. So as I've shown you earlier, countries around the world have their, what do you call this, representatives. Like let's say in the US, we have Twitter, CNET. In Canada and stuff, we have Pinterest and Lyft. Here at, let's say, in other continents, we have Trivago and more. But none here in the Philippines. So this is not worrying, but rather this is an opportunity for you to explore. So you could take the leap and build PWAs. No? So in terms of the international, we have twitter.com, just like what I've said earlier. Like if I ask you if you're using twitter.com, so if you visit twitter.com, it works offline. You can install it. So if you don't want the heavy client, the heavy native client, no, you could just install this PWA and have a lighter alternative. And another is Instagram, just like what I've said earlier, that it's a PWA. So if you don't want to install Instagram, you could install that instead. And also Tinder. Who uses Tinder? Oh. Okay, so if you're using Tinder and doesn't want to, install the heavy client, you could install this instead, and it performs as similar as that of the native counterpart. How about in the Philippines? No, as I've said, na parang wala pa representative, but actually there are some that is starting to go towards the PWA route. One of which, let's start first with the academe, no? That I'm going to report that the academe is starting to gain interest with PWAs as what they're thinking it as an important skill or a piece of technology that the student learn. As an example of this is that recently I was invited at Technological Institute of the Philippines, TIP, to deliver a talk about PWAs. So basically, the department head that told me that they want to equip their students with the skill, and he thinks that PWAs is just necessary in the coming years. No? So there. In industries, some of the examples are, first is the Click Shop by 7-Eleven, which I always promote, as they bet full on PWAs, meaning they do not have a native app counterpart. They just have a PWA. So the good thing about this is that I get to order online. It's like a normal e-commerce site. But when I'm offline and I go to the 7-Eleven store to claim my package, it still works offline. So I could show the code to claim it. So that's one of the features that 7-Eleven leverages. And another one is Shop SM. If you want to try shopsm.com, you could try installing it, and it shows you like a splash screen, like we've got it all for you. So that's one of the examples in retail. And as I've mentioned, that I'm going to show you some fun examples. These are some of the personal projects that I've built. So we're going to demo it tonight. So the first is in transportation. The one I've said earlier is this one. So one of the pain points when you're using native apps for things like transportation is that when you wanted to get the information fast, installing apps is a friction. Meaning if it's a friction, it adds additional steps, meaning that it's going to waste your time just to do simple tasks. So since it's a pain point, it's an opportunity for progressive web apps since you don't have to install anything. So that's what you could leverage. So one of the examples that I have here is Project Trend. So this is a train tracker for LRT. This is a project that came from our ideas before with Stephen when we joined hackathons. So basically, this is a train tracker for the LRT1. So let's say I'm going to ride like let's say I'm a foreigner. I don't speak Tagalog. I don't know what to ask. Where is this station? And I just wanted to know, like, when should I get down the train, for example. So let's try utilizing this no install technology or this feature. So what I'm going to try is to install this. Let's say I'm going to ride the LRT now, and I see the QR code posted somewhere in there. Just go and scan this and open this. Okay, and from there, it's loading. See that I could already use the PWA instead of installing it. So this increases the possibility that a user would use your app because they don't have to install it. Okay, so let's try. Okay, wait. So let's say the nearest station here is, for example, EDSA. Then let's try going to Monumento, for example. It's a little bit slow. And here, the cool thing about PWAs is that we have different APIs available already. One of this is the geolocation API, and it could actually get your location real time. So it could track, let's zoom in so you could see. Okay. So it actually tracks your speed in real time. And also, one of the APIs said was the share something API. So I have it in here. So let's say I wanted to tell my friend or my Twitter followers where I am right now. So the only thing I have to do is instead of taking a screenshot or something, I just have to tap share ride. Okay. And then a share sheet would show. Then from there, I could, let's try to tweet this one. Okay, there. And from there, I could already tell that I just wanted to let you know that I am at EDSA. So you may also track and share at which exact official LRT1 station you're nearby with Project Trend. So from there, diba, it's fast. Okay. And that link, actually, I've used Firebase real-time database for that. So when a friend opens that, they could see in real time where I am. It's one of the cool things of this thing. Okay, let's proceed to the next example. Okay, so next are the food and beverage industry or QSRs or yung like fast food chains. So this is not for fast food chain, but this is also fast. No? So one of the example is Quick Eats. Let's say I wanted to order a food and I'm new to the area. I don't know where to buy and I don't have Food Panda installed. So we can leverage this by actually allowing your users to just scan, open this, okay, and it loads fast. Okay, your favorite meals delivered quick and it's cute. It's a good thing we ate already. Okay, let's try signing in using our mobile number. Okay. So this uses Globe Labs for the SMS system. Don't text me later. Okay. There, I'm already registered. So while this happens, and I see that it already has value on, like, to my life, no? I could already install this in the background. And while that happens, I could already order. So let's try ordering one. So already knows where we're near using the geolocation API, as I've told earlier. So, okay, let's deliver here. So you could choose, okay, let's order. Okay. What do you want to order? Okay, let's get one. Okay. So let's order that. So like here is the rundown of your order, which is $250. So let's proceed to the payment. Okay, unfortunately. As I've told you earlier, there's a payment request API. So it's supposed to work, but on this demo it doesn't. But it should show a sheet below that you could put your credit card details, or if you have something stored, you could already tap pay. So you don't have to enter your credit card details every time you need to buy. So let's just try cash on delivery instead. And it's that fast. I didn't install anything. And if ever I wanted to order again, just open Quick Eats. Where is it? Did it install? It's still installing. But if ever it installs, you can just open it and order again. Okay. Let's proceed to the next one. Museums and galleries. So since it's the National Arts Month, I have built a demo. This was the demo I built for the previous meetup with PWDO or Puedo, but I'm going to show it to you again if you haven't seen it. So let's say we wanted to go to the what's this? National Museum of Fine Arts. So there's something I built that we could try out to discover the different art in there. So who wants to join me on this journey? Ikaw na lang. Okay. Scan. Scan mo. Okay. You scan. Okay. Pindutin mo yung press that. Okay. Okay, wait mo lang. And then you press explore. You will tell me what that is. You tell them okay. Wait lang. You wait for that. So it's still loading. This uses machine learning to detect the art. So let's say example. Can you try pointing at that one? Okay. So it tells us what the details. Let's say it's an upright panel, intricately carved and highly decorated. Its wooden frame contains ledges and panels behind and above the altar. See, there's an info already. Can you try this one naman, though? Okay, there. This one naman is like, the bust of one is, can you try this one? Wait. There you go. Can you try that? What's that? What art is that? Can you scan? Oh, there. It's the spoliarium. Can you try pressing learn more? Okay, there. And with that, no, it could show you rich information using PWAs and artificial intelligence. This one uses TensorFlow.js to process the information that it sees using the camera. So, thank you. How was it?
Ayos lang, magaling.
Astig ba? Okay, thank you. So you could build cool things with PWAs today. Right, okay. So opportunities for progressive web apps aside from those cool ideas. So to give you the value proposition on why building one. So it says there that the global PWA market is expected to reach a high number because emerging markets have low internet speeds. So it says in the article that with the rapid rise in the number of smartphone users, a significant amount of time is spent by users on apps. However, due to low internet speeds in developing countries, native apps aren't able to function smoothly. Progressive web apps take up very limited space and can run on low internet speeds as well as in offline mode. So these factors would drive global progressive web apps market exponentially. Media and entertainment represents the largest segment, largely due to lower loading time, just like what you've seen earlier with the museum PWA. So yeah. So also, why would you design one? Because PWAs run on these lesser capable phones and on super capable ones with different weird looking screens. So we have an API for this one, which is new, which is the Windows segment API. So you would know where to put your contents. Let's say you have your Surface Neo or Duo. You would know how many screens are there and where to put your content. So yeah. And also, as what Stephen said earlier, that on the average, user now installs just one native app per month or even less than that because of that high friction with installing them. Also, what you can target, since we don't have much PWAs, you could target these industries. Media and entertainment, travel and tourism, just like the museum, PWA, retail and e-commerce, just like that quick app, quick eats, real estate, also education and in healthcare.
Ready to say yes to the largest online code competition organized by our friends at Shopee? After a strong inaugural run in 2020, Shopee is back with their second installment of Shopee Code League in 2021, happening from the 6th till the 28th of March. To all students, undergraduates, and working professionals across the region, it's time to put your coding skills to the test and compete in a series of challenges. Just form a team of 2 to 4 members and solve real-world problems that cover data analytics, data science, and algorithmic challenges specifically designed by the Shopee tech teams. In addition, sign up for Shopee's training workshops to level up your tech skills. Mark your calendars and join us for the coding event of the year. Just visit careers.shopee.com/codeleague. Follow PWA Pilipinas social media accounts for more info and other cool stuff just like this.